Okie dokie. I am recording this since I will not be there on Wednesday. So we are, oh, sorry, I got to share screen. Share screen. Okay, share. Okay, dokie. So let's go to my beautiful little flip chart that I made. All right, so we are, let's go back. All right, so we are going to be talking about the geography of ancient China. And like I said yesterday, geography impacts the civilization quite a bit. For example, we know with Mesopotamia, the two rivers allowed them to farm. They used irrigation. They were able to grow crops. They were able to trade with other civilizations. So it had a big impact. Same thing can be said about ancient China. So we're thinking about the question, in what way does geography shape our lives? So as I said, China is in the continent of Asia, way over on the other side of the world. And then just like Mesopotamia, we see all these dots. This is kind of where people live. And what are we noticing along the edges? And especially right here, that's a very heavily populated area. So a lot of people are living in this area, and we're going to see that it has a lot to do with, number one, it's right on the, I think that's the East China Sea, but it's also where one of the main rivers are. All right, so China has a lot of physical features, and by a lot, I mean a lot. So in the red is the country of China. On this side, separating it from India, we have the Himalayan mountains, which contains Mount Everest, which is the tallest mountain in the world. We have the plateau of Tibet, which I will tell you what it's about. We have another set of mountains right here. We have the Taklamakan Desert, along with the Gobi Desert right here. And then we have the Yellow River, the Yangtze River, and then we have another one that we're going to talk about right here. And then we have tons of water. We have the Sea of Japan, we have the Yellow Sea, there's the East China Sea, there's the South China Sea, Pacific Ocean's kind of over here, Bay of Bengal's over here. So again, a lot of physical features. And those physical features, number one, offered China protection from invaders, except for up here, except for Mongolia. And that's one of the reasons they built the wall. So not only did it keep people out of China, it also kept China from exploring or interacting with the rest of the world for quite a long time. All right, so China's geography, and just like I said, it kept China economically and culturally isolated. So they were not trading with others. They were not like, hey, let's hang out. Hey, Mesopotamia, you want to hang out? That wasn't happening. Its mountains and deserts made overland travel extremely difficult. And then obviously they, this is 2,000 years ago, they didn't have like boats or yachts to sail across the Pacific. So they're very isolated in their country. Up close today, again, you're going to see, here's China. We have Mongolia up here, Laos right here. We have North Korea, South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, India's over here. So a lot of cities, very, very populated. All right, main river. We heard it in our video. It's the Yellow River or the Honghe, and it looks yellow because of the laos, which is like silt or dirt that makes up most of the water. So the dirt makes the water seem yellow. It's known as China's sorrow because it's massive and unpredictable flooding. So Mesopotamia knew when the river was going to flood. They learned to control that. They learned to know what's happened. China did not. They're like, oh, shoot, we flooded again. And so in the flood of 1332 to 1333, 7 million people died. Again, because it's, oh, when's it going to flood? Is everything fine? But when it was done flooding, when it was like, oh, hey, after all the people are dead, it left very, very fertile soil. So it was a good, bad. People died. You had fertile soil. Here is a picture of the Yellow River, and it really does look yellow, but you're going to notice it's green because it's offering very fertile soil on the sides of it. Again, here's another picture, kind of circling around. And then here's the other one, the Yangtze River. Doesn't have that yellow quality that the Yellow River does. Also, mountains cover a third of China. The Himalayan mountain range spreads across the modern countries of China, Nepal, India, Bhutan, and Pakistan, and it spans 1,500 miles. And like I said, it includes the Earth's highest peaks, which is Mount Everest, which is one of the big things. If you hike Mount Everest and get to the top, it's pretty amazing feat, and people die trying. And here's a picture of the Himalayas. So pretty, but so deadly. All right, and then there's the two deserts. There's a Gobi Desert, which is between China and Mongolia, but it's not an extensive desert. It's not enough to keep the Mongolians out, so they were still able to try to invade China from the north. Then we have the Taklamakan Desert, which is in western China, and it's the largest desert, and it's one of the main geographical features that kept anybody from the east coming into China. So Mesopotamia, Greece, Rome, Egypt, none of them came into China for a long time because of that desert. And then here's a look at it today. All right, and then we have the Tibetan Plateau, and it's between the Himalayan mountains and the Taklamakan Desert, and it's called the rooftop of the world. So what is a plateau? It's a naturally elevated surface of the earth. It is an elevated flat land, and it is higher than the surrounding area. So you kind of have the hill that goes up, but then it's flat. It's not like a mountain where you go up and you go down. A plateau, you go up and then you go flat. So here is an example of one. And then here is a picture of the Tibetan Plateau. So it's kind of hard to see, but down here it goes back down. I know I'm going through this fast, but I want to give you enough work time. All right, before we start that, I'm going to you're going to watch a little video on geography. Sorry, I lost where I was. What happened to my video? Where's my video? There's my video. All right, we're going to make me go bye-bye. Say goodbye, Miss Morris. And we're going to play.
Instructomania presents the Geography of China. This video will detail geographical features of ancient China, how geography shaped the lives of ancient Chinese, who lived in ancient China. The word geography, through a historian's lens, means the physical environment and how it may influence an economy and culture. Some examples may include scorching deserts that encouraged nomads to move between water sources, islands where the surrounding ocean offered a food source, flooding rivers that created fertile farmland, and mountains where a resource like timber was used for building. Section 1. Geographical features of ancient China. China is the third largest country in the world, and it has every type of climate on Earth, from subarctic to tropical. China borders 14 other countries, including India to the southwest beyond the Himalayan mountains. The Himalayan mountains house the tallest peak in the world, Mount Everest. The first measurement of Mount Everest was taken in 1852 and put the peak at 29,002 feet. However, the most recent measurement clocked in at 29,029 feet. That means the massive peak has jumped 27 feet. The tectonic plates underneath the mountain account for the changes in height. The Tibet Plateau nestles between the Himalayan mountains and the Kunlun Mountains in West China and makes up about 1/4 of China's land. The average height of the Tibet Plateau is 14,000 feet above sea level, making it the tallest plateau in the world. The Taklamakan Desert of northwest China is a cold desert climate, plunging as low as -4 degrees in winter. Its name is commonly translated as, "Once you get in, you'll never get out." The Mongolian Plateau dips into China along two parts of the border between the two countries. This massive plateau measures 1,200,000 square miles. The Gobi Desert sits on the southern part of the Mongolian Plateau. During ancient times through the Middle Ages, there were several major stops on the Silk Road for weary travelers and merchants traversing the Gobi Desert. Most of China's agriculture happens between two major rivers that run out of the Tibet Plateau and into the North China Plain. The Huanghe, or Yellow River, runs 2,900 miles and splits. Its name comes from the color of the silt that billows each year when it floods. The Yangtze River is south of the Yellow River and is the third longest river in the world. Both major rivers of China flow east, emptying into the Yellow Sea. Beyond the peninsula of Korea, the Japanese Sea joins with the Yellow Sea, offering the eastern shores of China diverse food, such as fish and crustaceans. Test your knowledge.
My job is to make college easier because students have a lot.
Let's play Where's the Chicken? In this game, you will track the chicken as it appears on a blank map of China. Once the music stops, you will use a China map labeled with physical features to determine where the chicken ended up. Other animals may appear on the map, so don't forget to keep your eyes on the chicken. So where did the chicken end up? Was it the Himalayan mountains, the Tibet Plateau, or the Yellow Sea? That's right, it was the Tibet Plateau. Let's try it again. Remember to keep your eyes on the chicken. So where did the chicken end up? Was it the Kunlun Mountains, the Mongolian Plateau, or the Gobi Desert? Yep, it was the Gobi Desert. Let's try one last time. You got this. So where did the chicken end up? Was it the Taklamakan Desert, the Yangtze River, or the Japanese Sea? Nice job. It was the Japanese Sea. We all know that rice is in Chinese food, but millet was also a very common grain grown and eaten in North China. How does geography shape lives? For the ancient Chinese, the rivers provided everything they needed to adapt and live as farmers. In addition to the rich soil from annual flooding, the rivers provided fish to eat and hemp to make clothing. Villages held around 100 families, each with a small farm. The first Chinese cities had high walls of hard-packed dirt and gates that stayed shut at night to protect its citizens. The Chinese needed to travel, supply food to soldiers guarding the northern Mongolian border, and to communicate more quickly across China. These needs triggered the building of waterways throughout the country. While the Grand Canal connecting northern and southern China is well known, smaller canals, such as the Hango Canal, were built as early as 480 BC. That's almost 1,000 years before the Grand Canal was completed by the Sui dynasty. Fun fact, in addition to oxen, the Chinese also attached plows to dogs and trained them to help with the farm work. Who lived in ancient China? Archaeology points toward the earliest Chinese migrating to the Yellow River Valley from the north or northeast region of China or Mongolia. Their legends state that mythical emperors taught the Chinese how to make fire, farm, and build houses. As a surplus of food increased, so did the population. Powerful families conquered weaker ones and became dynasties that filled China's history. Chinese dynasties gained control and created strict government and law. The Shang dynasty started silk culture and ruled with a monarchy. Bronze weapons and jade art were created, as well as a writing system. Spiritual communication was given to a diviner, often paid by the emperor. The Zhou dynasty moved China to a feudal system where nobles paid professional warriors to protect and swear loyalty. Many localized battles among nobles destroyed and reduced China's population. The Qin dynasty rose up among noble wars and overtook government. The First Empire was created in the north, and trade was improved with standard weights and currency. Also, iron weapons and horse-pulled chariots for the army were introduced. They built the Great Wall to defend against Mongolians. Lastly, the Han Dynasty ruled, spanning over 4 centuries. The Han period is considered a golden age in Chinese history. Science and technology during the Han period saw significant advances, including the process of papermaking, the nautical steering ship rudder, and a seismometer for measuring earthquakes. Let's check out what it really looks like in China today. As you can see, the physical environment of ancient China greatly influenced the economy and culture of the people who lived there. Consider this. In what ways does the physical environment influence your life? Be prepared to support your answer with examples.
Okie dokie. So hopefully that should give you some background information on the geography of China. So what you are going to be working on now for the rest of class is your ancient Egypt map ancient Egypt. It's Monday afternoon. I'm tired. Ancient China map activity. So you are going to get the map directions, which look like this, front and back, and then I'm going to give you the map. This map, you're going to notice I left some features that I think will help you. So for example, this is where you know a mountain range is. This is where a mountain range is. This is where a mountain range is. These lines are the rivers. So it's giving you an approximate location of where these are. So in order to search, I'm going to leave, let me go back. I'm going to have this one up. So I'll put this up again so you can use this. Just be careful because while I like this one, it's not necessarily my favorite. So what you're also going to want to do is you're going to want to go into Google. You know how much I love Google. And you're going to want to put in Ancient China Map 6th grade. That's going to get you a lot of choices. And as I said, one map is not going to have all of the answers. So you're going to use your checklist and you're going to be like, okay, what do we have here? What are some features I see on this one that I need? So, oh, I see I need to put the Sea of Japan. That is one of the things. So there it is. There's the Yellow Sea, the East China Sea, the South China Sea. So as you get them done, check it off. So for example, as I'm finding the Yellow Sea, I'm going to take my little pencil and I'm going to put a line through it. So Yellow Sea, line through, I found it. Get all the ones you can and then be like, okay, that's the last I can get here. So now I'm going to go back and look at a different map. This one looks like a good map. I see that it has the Himalayas, it has the Tibetan Plateau, it has the 2 deserts, it has the mountains up here. And again, just do one at a time. Go off your checklist and go, okay, which waters do I have? Check, check, check. Also, in terms of your legend and key, I have given you a box where your legend and your key go. That's going to be right here. And for your legend and key, you're going to need to include water, deserts, mountains, and mountains are already there. You're just going to have to show the brown triangles, plateaus, cities, and then the Great Wall of China. So the Great Wall of China, it's basically when you, if you look it up, if you Google that, so look, it's already, oh, look, it's on this one. Look, Great Wall of China is this red dot right here. So it goes all the way, it starts kind of here in this little inlet area, and then goes across and kind of ends in the Gobi Desert. And we'll talk about why it ended there. But just right now, I want you to understand where it is. And as I've said 20 times before, and you're probably like, stop saying Ms. Morris, there's a lot of geographical things that stop people from, locations that stop people from conquering from the south or the east. All they really kind of had to worry about, because yeah, the Gobi Desert, but it wasn't like super hardcore. It's not like the Taklamakan Desert, where again, they're like, you enter, you never leave. It's like the desert of death. So that is all you're going to be working on today. Your map activity today is Wednesday. So your map activity is going to be due for a 3rd period. It's going to be due, let's say it's all due Friday. However, if you can turn it in tomorrow on Thursday, that would be awesome for 3rd period. And then actually, let's say Monday, next Monday. Next Monday is a straight day. So let's say it's due every period, next Monday, straight day. So it'll give you time to work on it. And we may have time Thursday, Friday class. I'm not sure. All right. I'm expecting amazing behavior for the sub, and you're going to get the rest of class time to work on your map. All right. I love your faces. Deuces.